Ketua DAP Thank you. Yang saya hormati Ketua DAP Negeri Selangor, Saudara Tony Puah, Speaker Dewan Undangan Negeri Selangor, Saudari Henayo, juga bersama dengan Saudari Henayo, suami beliau, Ram. Thank you for being here today. So those of you wondering who's sitting next to her, you know now. Saudara Sanjan dan juga ahli parlimen untuk Bandar Kuching, Saudara Chong. Ladies and gentlemen, this area falls under Puchong. Now I want to thank Tony for organizing this event here. And I think it's important for me to thank all of you for making it a success. So please give all of you all yourselves a hand. Thank you for coming here tonight. Thank you for supporting the cause, especially in Sarawak. And I think we've heard from the speakers before me why it is such a program is important. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are in difficult and dangerous times. After 2008, now you and I know that there were strong winds, the demand for change. And we saw the change. Before that, a dream, but never realized. All of us talked about it, thought it would come, but wondered when it would happen. In 2008, we showed that if we in Pakatan unite, then Barisan National's days are numbered. It's only a matter of time that we will defeat them and take over Putrajaya. This followed through in 2013. Now 2013, 52% of Malaysians voted for Pakatan Rakyat. The Pakatan Rakyat, obviously the clear choice of Malaysians who believe that there was a change and there was also a new group of people who could lead Malaysia. A chance given to us again in Penang, in Selangor in particular. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, we have done reasonably well. The Chief Minister of Penang was here this evening. He spoke. Of course, the Menteri Besar of Selangor, Azmin Ali, to me, doing a reasonably good job. We had problems before this with the previous Menteri Besar, but that problem is removed and we have moved forward. Now it's important for us in Pakatan Rakyat to also sort our act out. Many of our supporters here have also asked me, whilst we speak about Barisan Nasional, we also must make sure that we in Pakatan Rakyat inspire confidence in people so that people will know that we are prepared to rule this country in Putrajaya. That is something we have to do. And I think all of you here agree, and we must talk about it. We have problems, ladies and gentlemen, but I think we will prevail. Now we see elections going on in Pematang Pau. Now that is as a result of the disqualification of opposition leader Anwar Ibrahim. Now part of our strategy, ladies and gentlemen, to ensure that Pakatan Rakyat comes under pressure to crack the removal of Anwar Ibrahim without an opposition leader. And of course, people say he was the one that held together the three parties in Pakatan Rakyat. Quite apart from that, ladies and gentlemen, we now see how it is in Parliament, a move to introduce new legislation to make it more difficult for Malaysian leaders like us to speak up. I think Malaysia has become the role model of the world for the wrong reasons of late. Parliament sitting until 4 in the morning. Why? Just to pass laws which allow for detention without trial. To pass laws like the amended Sedition Act. What is sedition? Sedition can be anything, ladies and gentlemen. You say something and they don't like it, you can be charged for sedition. Now earlier, we had fought against it. We demanded that the new Prime Minister, when he came in, Najib Tun Razak, we demanded that he change, remove all laws, and he made that promise. He said, yes, I will remove the Sedition Act. I will remove detention without trial. This when he first became Prime Minister. But now, we see the reintroduction of these laws. We see how it is. Minimum sentence are now imposed for sedition. What does that tell you? That tells you that as far as we are concerned, we have a Prime Minister who cannot be trusted. A Prime Minister who says something and does completely the other, but still smiles at the end of the day and says, I have done no wrong. This is the Prime Minister we have, Najib Tun Razak, and he must be removed before it is too late, ladies and gentlemen. In Malaysia, we have laws which deal with serious crime. For example, when you look at laws which relate to bodily harm, let's take manslaughter. There is no minimum. No minimum, meaning to say that a judge, after deciding on a case, can decide on the sentence. So in other words, if a judge feels that he wants to give you a fine, he can. But of course the maximum is there, 20 years or 10 years, depending on the nature of the crime. So in this country, it's okay for you to even go to the extent of taking someone's life and there is no minimum sentence. But as far as our government is concerned, if you say the wrong thing and you are convicted, it's a minimum 3 years imprisonment. That is the kind of government that we have under Najib Tun Razak. Why? Why is he so scared of intellectual discourse in this country? Why is Barisan Nasional now going on this crusade to bring pressure to bear to Pakatan Rakyat politicians especially? Now you and I know why. The reason is in front of us. It is because they know that it is a matter of time. They know that their days are numbered. And they know that we are creeping in. Insofar as we are concerned, we are right behind them. Tony Poa, of late, raised 1 MDB. Now Tony Poa started off by saying to you that I asked him whether he's tired of raising the Jolo and 1 MDB issue. Let me tell you why I asked him. I asked him whether he's tired of the fact that despite there being so much question, so much substance in what he's saying, until now he has not got any answers from the Prime Minister to his questions. Because that is what the position is. Ladies and gentlemen, we in the DAP, we don't give up. That is not our style. And Tony Poa will push on and we will support him. Of course, in the courts, of course, I will support him as well. But we have to remember that this is what we face. The reality of it. The possibility of criminal charges. The possibility of being charged for sedition. The possibility of being sued. Now these are serious matters, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes when people are charged for sedition, the moment they are charged, there are mixed feelings. Some people say, all right, for principal cause and so forth. But we must be careful. Let us not underestimate what can happen. The realities of it, the consequences. Karpal Singh was convicted before he passed on. Convicted for sedition and fined. Now, in court, when it came to his sentencing, the DPP, even though Mr. Kapal was in a wheelchair and he was unable to move to a great extent, the DPP demanded for a custodial sentence. This is what we have today in Malaysia. A man can't move. But nevertheless, convicted for making a speech in which he delivered a legal opinion. And the DPP asks and demands for a custodial sentence. Ridiculous, but it happened. And this is what can happen to all of us as well. But that doesn't mean we give up. It only means that we have to be stronger. And we need your support more for us to carry on this fight. The Chief Minister of Penang, ladies and gentlemen, he made reference to Mahathir Mohamad. Mahathir Mohamad. Yes, Mahathir Mohamad suddenly, he wakes up from his deep slumber of 8 years. This Mahathir Mohamad is not an angel. Let us be very clear about that. He is a man who built a monster which is now the problem in Malaysia, and he is responsible and action must be taken against him as well. I'm not going to mince my words. Whilst we say, right, Mahathir, you are speaking up now. Let me ask you this question. Why have you kept quiet for 8 years? He speaks of Altan Tuya. I have been suspended, salary taken. I fought my case in the High Court, Court of Appeal, Federal Court, finished. Mahathir just wakes up. Why is he keeping quiet all this while? A senior statesman who comes up with statements like, if a loved one commits murder, we cannot forgive them. Let me ask him, who is he talking about? Number one. Number two, what information does he have? Don't beat around the bush. If you have information, lodge a police report. Go for it. Make sure you tell people that this is what you know and you want action to be taken. Don't come out with flimsy statements. Statements which make all sorts of people think all sorts of things. I challenge him, Mahathir Mohamad, if you are brave enough and you really want to do something, you want to show that you are sincere, name that person, say what you know, tell us and ask for action. Jangan main-main. This is not a small matter. This is not a small matter. When Mahathir speaks, people listen. Tony Pua brought up on NBB, long time, with Rafizi. Didn't get traction at first. Mahathir said it once or twice. The whole town is talking about it. But that is the impact that he has. And Mahathir Mohamad talks about this. Let us ask also this question. If Mahathir Mohamad is right about 1MDB, making all these remarks, asking all these questions about Altan Tuya, then isn't he also saying that something is very wrong with our system? Because it is not just Najib that is at fault, if at all. It is also the Attorney General. What is Ghani Patel doing? Why is he keeping silent? It is also our great Ketua Polis Negara, Khalid, the Twitter cop. Why is he keeping quiet? What Mahathir Mohamad is doing now is just reinforcing what we in Pakatan have been saying all along. There is something very, very wrong with our government, the federal government today. There is something very wrong at all levels. Here we have a system in which leaders seem to know that something is wrong, but nobody says anything about it. Despite huge amounts of money being taken, being delivered or being removed in ways that are questionable. Until now, nobody wants to say anything about it. The Prime Minister, Najib Tun Razak, remains the most powerful man in the country. Tony says there is a good chance that he might not even be removed. Tony is right. But that's the question. When we have a scenario whereby it is so obvious that something must be done, but no one does anything about it, and the opposition who's trying to do something about it gets punished, I think, ladies and gentlemen, you now understand why it is we come back to the people. At the end of the day, it is people power. Najib Tun Razak may think that he is Prime Minister and he can do as he pleases. But in the next elections, 2018, we Malaysians must start thinking about our future. We must ask ourselves, are we now prepared to remove them, to send a new group of people in there, to check, to make sure that this country is not robbed of its rightful dues, as said by the Chief Minister of Penang. And I think this is why we come back to the principal question. Are we ready for a change? We are. We have said it numerous times. We have said it numerous times. But can we see that happening in the near future? Ladies and gentlemen, we speak about Sarawak. When we speak about Sarawak, we speak about problems that go beyond this. You hear the stories. What Saudara Chong has said just now, Chong Cheng Jen. He's right. I've been to the longhouses in Sarawak with Mr. Kapal. The conditions, the living conditions of these people, it demands answers. How do you have a country like this, where there's so much development and wealth? We can see it. We know it is there. Go to Putrajaya. Look at the wealth there. Look at the amounts of money that will be invested there. But you still have fellow brother and sister Malaysians who don't have electricity, who don't have proper roads, who don't have proper water. Now when we come up to programs like this, Impian Sarawak, where we have to come on stage and say to you, please help your brothers and sisters in Sarawak and in Sabah. I think you know that the problem has reached a stage where the only way to solve it is to make sure we change government. As always, even when it came to 2008, ladies and gentlemen, when it came to 2013, it always starts in Sarawak because their elections is before ours. Now let us see, ladies and gentlemen, contributions from here that go to the heart of the matter, that move the people not only of Sarawak, but of the whole of Malaysia, that if change is to start in Sarawak, it must first generate itself from here. It is us who's responsible for this country. All of us. Pakatan Rakyat is relatively new. As I said earlier, we have problems. We have started government 2 terms. But I think we have learned enough. We have tested ourselves. And now the question is whether or not we are ready to take that one extra step. We have problems with PAS. PAS earlier signed itself to what is known as the Common Policy Framework of Pakatan Rakyat. The Common Policy Framework is very clear. We have said very clearly in there, we are not going to implement hudud. We have said that. But now we have got Hadi Awang, who does a complete U-turn. Not only talks about it, but also tables a bill in Parliament. We have to deal with that. And we will deal with that soon. So ladies and gentlemen, I come back again to where I started off. All of you are here today because all of you all still feel that traction. You all still feel that desire that I feel inside of me. If we unite, if we carry on the momentum, if we start now, I think we can generate support in the next 2 years. Not just for 1 or 2 successes like in Sarawak or otherwise, but for the biggest success that we need to change this country, for the biggest success that we need to save this country, for the biggest success that we need to make sure that not our futures, but the future of our children and grandchildren are taken care of, which is the Malaysian dream, us taking over Putrajaya, a new government, and removing Barisan Nasional from the seat of power. I, as Member of Parliament, Puchong, I said it when I started in 2008, and I repeat now. I will do what I can in Parliament. But I ask all of you here, my friends, please give us your support. Tell your friends now. We must start now. Mobilize our people. Registration, things like that. Don't wait till the last minute. Do it now. The near future, Sarawak, I wish DAP Sarawak success. Saudara Chong, I think I can say this. From my experience in Parliament, Saudara Chong is a very good MP. Yeah, he does his work very well. And I'm told he's also very notorious in the Dun in Sarawak. So keep it up. It starts there. But after that, there is that bigger battle that we need to win, which is the battle for governance in Malaysia. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm quite sure that we have full support from all of you here today, and I'm sure that we will get support from greater Malaysians, not just 52%, but more than that, and we will win in the next election to come. So thank you very much for your support. All the best. Good night. Sia Seniman. Nandri Wanakkam. Tony Poa wants me to announce, right? Donations. Correct me if I'm wrong. Donations that we've got from tables as our persons went around. 36,134 ringgit. Very good, thank you. And for the sale of birds, auction, 7,500. That brings it to a total of 43,634 ringgit. Monies from you towards our cause, for which we are extremely and deeply grateful. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Good night.